Hey everyone, welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we are going to talk about the Marine Sun God. If you would like to see more about One Piece in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our pirate crew. But pirates, before we continue with the video, I ask that you already subscribe to our channel. That way you will join our pirate crew and earn a devil fruit or master your. It would also help our crew a lot if you leave your thumbs up on today's video, so together we can become Yonkos. Now let's continue with today's video. Certainly, one of the biggest mysteries in One Piece has always been the Echo. Not only their origin and reason for existing, but why some of them are special enough to change the world. And when we mention fruits that possess such abilities, we certainly can't fail to mention Gomu Gomu No Mi itself, actually being revealed as Hito Hito no Mi, a legendary fruit with abilities beyond comprehension. But why is it so feared and sought after by the world government? Is it just for her powers, or what does she carry with her beyond that? What did the Goroseis want to do by guarding her for so long? Did they intend to just seal it up and prevent anyone from consuming it, or did they intend to give it to someone to guard, like Im-sama, hoping that he could seal it up somewhere like the refrigeration where the mystery big straw? They actually hoped to use the fruit to give to someone who could consume it and use it to their advantage. That's what we'll talk about in today's video. Gomu Gomu No Mi, originally known as the Hito Hito no Mi model, Nika, is a mythic Zoan-type devil fruit that allows the user to transform into the legendary sun god Nika and gain his attributes, notably a body with rubber properties. The world government renamed it in an effort to erase the original name from history, and as a result, it was reclassified as a paramecia-type fruit that transforms the user into a rubber man. It was a treasure sought by the world government for over 800 years, until it was stolen by Shanks and his crew in recent history. It was then accidentally eaten 12 years ago by the series protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy. Gomu Gomu No Mi is a violet, spherical fruit with a stem sprouting from the top, with swirls that go in a curly, C-type pattern. Its overall appearance is very reminiscent of a Yubari king. Although its final design has the characteristic devil fruit swirls throughout, the fruit was initially designed without them in the first version of Romance Dawn. About 13 years ago, the fruit was obtained by Lucky Roo from the Redhead Pirates during an invasion. During the Romance Dawn arc, as Higama and his gang arrive at a restaurant in Fusha village, Luffy accidentally and unknowingly eats the Gomu Gomu No Mi. After Shanks finds Higama, when Luffy tries to get back at Higama to attack Shanks, the latter grabs his arm, only to see him stretch, which surprises everyone in the restaurant, including Shanks and his crew. Lucky Roo then shows Luffy the Gomu Gomu No Mi he ate. In the Dressrosa arc, after Luffy becomes exhausted from using Gear 4th, Jesus Burgess expresses interest in killing him to obtain the Gomu Gomu No Mi. His attempt is interrupted by Sabo, however. Luffy's stretching powers were a result of Oda's desire for the fighting style to be silly, so that no matter how tense the situation, the reader could relax without getting stressed. Oda originally called the fruit just Gomu fruit, but his editor pointed out that there is a rubber fruit, so Oda changed the name. Greatest strength of the fruit, as demonstrated by Luffy, is that the person's body can stretch like rubber even when the user of the ability himself is voided. It also makes him almost completely immune to blunt attacks, including hand-to-hand combat, bullets, or even cannonballs, an ability that can be enhanced by applying Buso's Hoku Haki. Thanks to Luffy's creativity both in and out of combat, this fruit has consistently proven to be among the most formidable, versatile, and unpredictable within the Paramecia class. The user's rubber-like body also allows the user to survive falls from heights and collisions that would kill a normal person. The user's ability to stretch and twist like rubber to extreme lengths not only makes him immune to injuries that stem from such, but also allows him to recover, which can give him a great advantage in or out of battle. Stretching also allows the user to dramatically increase the range of what would otherwise be considered a powerful short-range attack, turning it into a devastating medium-range or long-range attack. A stretched limb can also be used to store potential energy like a stretched spring, increasing speed by stretching the arm backwards, resulting in greater power. Combined with Haki, its power is increased even more. Due to the natural insulating properties of the rubber type, the user is also immune to electrical attacks and is also able to strike an electric Logia user without Haki. In addition, the user is immune to the electricity produced by Electro. Luffy's body is similar to a rubber band, requiring him to use excessive movement to launch an attack. After time skip, however, the extra movement is unnecessary, and Luffy is able to stretch easily. By training his skills, Luffy has found unexpected ways to increase his fighting ability, such as the ability to stretch his blood vessels to increase the speed of his blood flow in order to become faster and stronger, at a cost of depleting his body's energy at a faster rate. In addition, with the application of Haki, he is able to trigger a limb for an even more devastating. Luffy can even inflate his bones to increase the volume of his body and significantly increase his attacks, at the cost of his body becoming smaller for a short period of time. Fruit allows all parts of the consumer's body to behave like rubber, including organ. As such, Luffy has a larger appetite than the average human, eating more than any other crew member and always digesting it before anyone else is hungry again. In the anime, Luffy used his stretching abilities to inhale large amounts of air to thus exhale a large gust of wind. This application of his powers was used to blast poisonous vapor from Marigold's poison spit and Magellan's poison breath. Given Luffy's elastic properties, he is shown to be able to withstand great pressure, as shown near Fishman Island when fighting Hody. Although he was still weakened by the seawater around him, he seemed to be unaffected by the intense underwater pressure. Despite all the great advantages Luffy gets from using his fruit, he can still be hurt by slashing or stabbing attacks, as well as non-physical attacks like fire or ice. A major risk of Luffy's powers is that he is vulnerable to attacks at times when his limbs are stretched to their limit, as Buggy and Kuro both demonstrated early in the series. Luffy, however, has adapted his fighting style to minimize this risk, as shown when Buggy tried to exploit this weakness of Luffy's. Luffy also showed a limited ability to move in the air, grabbing onto something with an outstretched limb and moving away from what could have been a fatal attack. This gives Luffy the option of several jump and air attacks that would have been disadvantageous to most other people, as it would leave them vulnerable. In his youth, Luffy had a problem controlling his own abilities. Although he had an idea of how they would work, Luffy had trouble with aiming at the moment of his attacks, and he was continually sent spinning by the recoil. However, he was able to combat these weaknesses with his continued jungle training the moment he stopped being a pirate. Luffy, of course, also suffers from the same weaknesses of water, fishman karate, and sea stone, as other devil fruit users. However, he sometimes seems to forget his weakness for water, as he always wants to try some kind of water sport in the sea and often dives into the ocean when he sees someone drowning. And while contact with water and the Mardryn Stone deplete Luffy of his energy and nullify his ability to absorb blunt attacks, his actual body still maintains rubber-like dew, allowing a third party to stretch his body for him. The Gomu Gomu No Mi user is also susceptible to Buso's Hoku Haki. Similar to the effects of water, the use of Haki only nullifies Luffy's ability to absorb blunt attacks. However, it does not revert Luffy's body to a non-stretchable flesh. Through the use of Buso's Hoku Haki, Luffy's grandfather was able to hurt him using only his fist. Luffy's teammates get mad at him. His blows are able to bypass Luffy's immunity to blunt attacks, though this is purely for comedic effect. Weakness noted by Doflamingo is that when Buso's Hoku Haki is applied to a part of Luffy's body, it is no longer elastic. This is proven with Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Thor elephant gun, where, although rubber is a natural insulator of electricity, the attack enhanced by Buso's Hoku Haki negates the rubber and releases electricity. This weakness is negated in Gear 4th, however. Powers of the fruit have been used by Luffy in a variety of ways. These range from simply moving from one place to another rather recklessly, to attacking an enemy with a hail of fast and powerful punches. He also developed several peculiar methods of combat over time, adapting new forms by manipulating his elastic body, the most prominent forms being the Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd, allowing him to momentarily increase his strength. After the time skip, he learned to use Haki in conjunction with the fruit powers, as well as having more control over his forms. During the time skip, Luffy developed a form known as Gear 4. Of course, Luffy, being who he is, doesn't just use his ability for battle. When with his crew, or even when having fun with others, Luffy tends to use his elastic properties for humor and other people's enjoyment, such as making funny faces or using his elastic. Throughout the series, he would stretch his arm and steal food from others, much to their annoyance. He also uses his powers for transportation purposes, a primary example of which is his Gomu Gomu no Rocket, which causes him to pick something up with his arms and throw it like a slingshot, which helps him travel great distances quick. Also has no problem letting other people play with his elongated body, which people tend to take advantage of. Up to think about Hito Hito no Mi, it is a fact that it is by far one of the most curious Akumas known. Itself is not powerful, but if the right person possesses it, we can certainly say that damage will be done. Not necessarily because the bearer is a bad person, but because he must be someone who would certainly be able to turn the world upside down with his actions. This devil fruit, to date, we know has been in the possession of two people, Joy Boy, aka Nika, and Monkey D. Luffy. Theories say that there may be something like a compatibility between the consumer and the fruit for their powers to actually awaken, thus gaining what our Straw Hat named Gear 5, being nothing more than the awakening power of the new sun. Like Luffy, Joy Boy was a kind person who in the past helped many people, freeing them physically and mentally from barriers, bringing a big smile to their faces and parties that celebrated the liberation. With both characters one could hear the drums of liberation, which could refer to their hearts beating fast as they awakened their powers at their peak, gaining that sun god transformation that we have recently come to know. But why were the Goroseis trying so hard to have it for themselves? We'll know very little about the elders, about Joy Boy, and especially about the fruit itself. But certainly one of the things the Goroseis would like to avoid is the rebirth of Joy Boy, who in the past has already caused problems for them, and they were probably aware that the Hito no Mi fruit could be the trigger for the person possessing it to gain power again. Would justify why they tried so hard to get the fruit, but probably never succeeded because Akumas no Mi like it are said to have a kind of life of their own, causing them to walk around on their own and run away from them. But we also can't deny that it's not impossible that people would try to hide it on their own or take it sideways. If the Gorosei possessed it, what would they do if it finally got into their hands, perhaps even before Shanks had managed to steal it? I wonder what would have happened. One of the even more meaningless things within One Piece is certainly regarding the giant straw hat inside a cooler with Im-sama. Nothing is known about that yet, but it is assumed that they put it there to remain its worth and keep it still for many, many years, preventing them from easily taking it. The same could be done with Hito, keeping it in a refrigerated place impossible to get out, so even if it had a life of its own, it wouldn't be able to escape or anyone to get it. Surely Shanks would not go until Im-sama demanded her for himself, at least. He might have her relevance, but they certainly wouldn't let him possess her. After all, Shanks knew about the origin of the fruit and that's why he stole it, taking it somewhere. Don't know if he did this because he hoped the Chosen One would eventually eat it, because he received some kind of prophecy from the past or from Roger, or if he had other intentions. But surely he would have thought of something if the world government had taken the fruit before he did. However, what if they planned something different, like giving this fruit to someone among them? Not necessarily one of the elders, but someone who was loyal to them and could control the fruit in the future. If they know about its properties and about Joy Boy, they should know that whoever consumed it and was able to control it, being manipulated by them, would prevent Nika from return. But, of course Joy Boy preached and sought freedom, and Luffy does this naturally to this day. But this could be taken as something contrary if used everyone, well. Welcome to your university. Maybe the person wouldn't even necessarily awaken the power because he wasn't an exact match, not being Luffy, although it's all pure speculation because we don't yet know what the trigger for Gear 5's awakening was. We have a sun god, but belonging to the Gorosei. What would have happened if Shanks had not arrived in time to steal the fruit? To the ancients just wanting to seal the Hito, or to do something we don't know about yet? Leave your theory in the comments. That's it, my Straw Hat Pirate. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for a video, don't forget to comment below, because I'll be reading them all as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your pirate